The Calf of Man, just off the southern tip of the Isle of Man, there's a decaying building there, and on its wall hangs a strange thing, a life preserver. Round, red and white, worn by time, it made me wonder, what do we leave behind to save the ones who come after us? This is Quest and Chorus number 306.
Off your shoes and you're twirling around in the long grass. High in the hills, I watch you melt into the sunset. You're warm like the summer, you're bright like the sky. You're all of the things that I need in my life. Dance like nobody's watching. Laugh like our hearts are free. Sing like nothing else matters. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. Memories of empty pursuits, searching for meaning. A man in a mask who never knew what he was feeling. You showed me the summer, you showed me the sky. You showed me the things I could have in my life. Dance like nobody's watching. Laugh like our hearts are free. Sing like nothing else matters. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. Summer, you're bright like the sky. You're all of the things that I need in my life. Dance like nobody's watching. Laugh like our hearts are free. Sing like nothing else matters. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. Dance like nobody's watching. Laugh like our hearts are free. Sing like nothing else matters. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me. 'Cause I'm alive with you and you're alive with me.
That was We Banjo 3 with Alive With You from their album Open the Road. Welcome to Quest and Chorus, where every place has a story, every story has a song, and every song is a step in the quest. I'm your bard, Marc Gunn, and host of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, and typically host of this show as Folk Songs and Stories, but today we call it Quest and Chorus. Quest and Chorus is a 6-part podcast series. I fuse my love of music, science fiction, and fantasy, and travel into a podcast with a quest. Yes, in each episode you will get a clue to unlock a secret reward, and at the end of the season you will combine all of those clues to unlock an even bigger, amazing reward. So we're sailing to the Isle of Man today to talk about hope, abandonment, legacy, moving forward, and what comes next. If you're new to the show, please follow us. You can do so at pubsong.com or send an email to follow@celtfather.net. Upcoming shows, I will be at ALEP 6 on September 24th to 28th. October 11th, I'll be at the Lost Druid Brewery. And October 17th through 19th, I'll be at Multiverse in Peachtree City. Please leave a comment on the podcast show notes at pubsong.com or wherever you listen. Email pictures of what you're listening to at follow@celtfather.net. I'll send you a free gift, and you can learn more about how to follow this podcast. All right. Before we begin our quest, I like to share some of the music that I find over on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. This is Muireann Nic Amhlaoibh with Cadi Sin Don Te Sin from Neadú.
rind is bogside below. The good in the Hanavista, in some easy go. Oh, Galatian, plantation of winning some low. It's Galatian, plantation of winning some low. The calling down dogs, got a ban in dim more. The Guamar on all eyes, like a morose. Mobim Shahamala is conridden shim low. Oh, Kadation, plantation of winning some low.
We set sail from the cold quay of Cork. We were sailing away with a cargo of bricks for the Grand City Hall in New York. She's an elegant craft, rigged fore and aft, and oh how the trade winds drove her. She had 23 masts, she stood several blasts, and they called her the Irish Rover. They had 1 million bales of the best Sligo rags. They had 2 million barrows of stones. They had 3 million sides of blind horses' hides, and 4 million barrows of bones. 5 million hogs, 6 million dogs, 7 million barrows of porter, and 8 million bales of old nanny goat's tails in the hold of the Irish Rover. There was Barney McGee from the banks of the Lee. There was Hogan from County Tyrone. There was Jimmy McGurk, who was scared stiff of work, and a man from Westmeath called Malone. There was Slugger O'Toole, who was drunk as a rule, and Fighting Bill Tracy from Dover. And your man Mick McCann from the banks of the Bann was the skipper of the Irish Rover. Well, we'd sailed 7 leagues, for the measles broke out, and our ship lost its way in a fog. And the whole of the crew was reduced down to 2. It was myself and the captain's old dog. And the ship struck a rock. Lord, what a shock. It nearly turned right over. It turned 9 times around, and the poor old dog was drowned. Well, I'm the last of the Irish Rover. I'm the last of the Irish Rover.
After Muireann Nic Amhlaoibh came Bill Mullen with Irish Rover from The Beginning. And I want to send a big thanks to my gun runners on Patreon. If you enjoy this podcast or you love listening to my music, please follow my Kilt Father Patreon page. You can sign up for free and get updates on what's new, and you can get an ad-free addition to this podcast before public listeners, but you get so much more when you become a patron of the arts. Patreon is one of the ways modern musicians and podcasters make a living. For just $5 per month, you'll get exclusive, unreleased songs, podcasts, video concerts, bootleg concerts, and so much more. Email follow@keltfather.net to get some details. Let's begin the quest and chorus of the Calf of Man. The Calf of Man is a small island located about half a mile off the southern tip of the Isle of Man. It is a protected national park that is part of the Manx National Heritage. It is home to a large number of species of birds, including some colonies that migrate there. Around 33 species of seabirds breed on the island annually, including the Manx shearwater, kittiwake, razorbill, and shag. And now every year, I take a small group of people to explore our Celtic heritage. It's called Celtic Invasion Vacations. Next year, we're going to Galicia in Spain, which is one of the more obscure Celtic nations. But in the summer of 2024, we did a Celtic invasion of the Isle of Man. Now, on the invasion, we took the wildlife and scenic trip boat tour around the Calf of Man with Shona Boat Trips, and they are one of the many small boat operators that give tours. Desi was our guide. He lived on the island for a year, and we got some great stories from him. Now, we didn't get to explore much of the island because the Calf of Man is raw. It's the kind of place the sea keeps for itself. There was a building by the shore. We couldn't inspect it during our 15 minutes on the ground, but it looked like just the bones of a dwelling. Stone clings to stone, and from its wall, there was one oddity that stood out in the stark landscape: a life preserver. It's wild to think about. A life preserver is a tool meant to save someone in the future, and it was hanging on the ruins of a home from the past. It reminded me a little bit of Miranda from the movie Serenity, a planet left behind, a warning not given, a silence that costs too much. That place, that building, it feels like Miranda, not because it's dead, but because someone left it, hoping it might save someone else. So in the very first episode of Firefly, Malcolm Reynolds is fighting in Serenity Valley. A soldier standing next to him is terrified that he's going to die, and Mal tells him, we're too pretty to die. He's filled with so much hope, Mal is. And a moment later, he watches in horror as his air support leaves. He watches his angels fly away as the soldier next to him is shot down. 2/3 of the Independents died in the Battle of Serenity Valley. 2/3 of Mal's fellow soldiers did not make it home, and yet he lived. He was preserved. Much like the secret word of the day. Take note. What was preserved? There's some sort of preserver on that wall. So were you ever left behind? How did you move forward? Music is, of course, my safe place. That's one of the reasons why I wrote Serenity Valley Waltz. I wanted a song for survivors, for those who were left behind, to not just face the future, but also to take care of the next generation. This is why I spend so much time thinking about sustainability in my music career. Are we making a life preserver for the next generation, for my daughters? I've been reading the book Ministry of the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson, and he does an amazing job at illustrating the tipping point of climate change. And it's a fictional story, but he laid out this moment when we had to start doing something about it. The very first chapter of the book lays out this horror that brought tears to my eyes, especially when I imagine what my children will most likely face at some point in the future. And basically, it's this overwhelming heat wave that kills like 1 million people. He guides you in a visual story to see how those people died, and it's kind of shocking. It was upsetting. And to think that my children could face something similar in the future is one of those moments when it really clicked that we can do something about it. We can use that life preserver right now by changing how we do stuff right now. And perhaps music can be our guiding light, our healer, our hope. Serenity Valley is a song all about healing and hope. It's all about overcoming our nightmares and looking out across the ocean from the Isle of Man and seeing a better future for all of us. This song is for the places that hold pain, but also for the objects that remind us to stay afloat. Like that round red and white ring. It didn't save a life today, but it might tomorrow. This is Serenity Valley Waltz.
There's a place that I go when I'm feeling low, and a battle is raging in my head. It dries up my tears and holds back the fear, gives me strength to face what's ahead. Serenity Valley Waltz, when I'm feeling like everything's lost. My heart is all ablaze and my mind's in a haze. Let the angels dance away my faults. I felt the sadness that you caused when you exposed all my flaws and treated my fears as unreal. There is truth in your life, so much hurt as I cried when you left my soul scarred and unhealed. Serenity Valley Waltz, when I'm feeling like everything's lost. My heart is all ablaze and my mind's in a haze. Let the angels dance away my faults. Each day that I rise, I look up in the skies. I am grateful my family is with me. Still I wait for the dawn, and I struggle to go on. So I pray for serenity. Serenity Valley Waltz, when I'm feeling like everything's lost. My heart is all ablaze and my mind's in a haze. Let the angels dance away my faults. Serenity Valley Waltz, when I'm feeling like everything's lost. My heart is all ablaze and my mind's in a haze. Let the angels dance away my faults.
I hope you enjoy that song. It is from my album Celtic, which you can buy. You can buy the physical CD or the album pen currently. CDs will not be around forever. In fact, this is the final pressing of them. So this is your last chance. I think there's about, 30 or 40 of the albums left, the CDs left. The album pen, I think I also have about 30 or 40 of those pens as well. So go check those out. These are limited edition items, so grab them. If you want to learn more about Serenity Valley Waltz, visit the show notes. I did an episode where I shared the inspiration behind the song. I talk a little bit more about it. You can also find a link to the discussion that Mikey and Mason and I had when I wrote the song, I guess, but it was part of the In the Verse podcast. Finally, if you really love this song, I have a poll for my album, all my albums, but also for Celtic, the album from that Serenity Valley Waltz comes from. You can vote for that song in that poll. You'll find a link to that, all of that, on the show notes. Thank you for standing on the shore with me today. The Cafa Man may be forgotten, but its story, like yours, is worth remembering. Next week, we climb to Tintagel, the seat of Camelot, to raise a glass to myths and farewells. Until then, leave something behind, not because you're going, but because someone might come looking. Sláinte. Thanks for listening to Quest and Chorus. This episode was edited by Mitchell Peterson. You can follow and listen to the show on my Patreon or wherever you find podcasts. Sign up to my mailing list to learn more about the songs featured in this podcast and discover where I'm performing. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and think about how you can make a positive impact on climate change. Join the quest and sing along at pubsong.com.